Okay, I don't see anyone at the moment, but if we could stand and start with the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, from which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Okay, I need to let some people in here.
This was.
Can you get the names off of the? Okay.
Except the one that says neighbor.
Okay, we are going to start with public comment, and there is a sheet of there's a sheet of paper right there in the center of the table. If you are planning to make any comments, I think a couple of people have already signed up, so if you want to go in the order that they were signed up for, go ahead. I don't know who's you the first. I haven't seen the list, so I don't know who's.
What's the best place for our people at home to watch?
You are good right there.
Right there.
Step back a little bit so that the
There you go,
yep, there it is. Perfect. The owl can pick you up.
Fabulous. Jamie Sterling, 20 Miller Road, Bethany. I think that all the selectmen know my position on adding an item to the agenda that wasn't posted earlier. It's certainly within your right. And that position has been outlined in emails, which you're welcome to have, or anyone at home. What I wanted to talk about tonight was the guardrails, because when they first went up, I had a conversation with Don, and I agree that the guardrails are more attractive in their rural, kind of rural form, the rustic version. In fact, they were so as if they'd always been here that I missed them on my way home. My kid had to point it out to me that what concerns me is that in the 1960s, when the state was considering how best have suburban towns grow, they wanted cars to be able to travel rapidly to get to the city, to their job. That's what made better communities with higher property values. That's not necessarily the case now. What makes better communities with higher property values are streets where people can ride their bikes, where grandmothers can walk their dogs. And that means slowing cars down. Our guardrails make the streets safer for cars, but it feels intimidating to me when I'm out walking my dog. And if we can look at doing something about that in the future to make our streets safer, I know we're not going to do it with guardrails, but that would be something that I'd love to have the Board of Selectmen look into.
Okay,
Thank you.
Don, who's next on the list?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Kathy Spencer's first on the list, actually.
Oh, he's short stop today.
So I'm sitting in this room, and I've sitting in this room periodically, and I look at those photos, and I think about the people who have served as selectmen beforehand. And I think about the legacy that they left behind for us. They left behind a beautiful town. Beautiful town. It's very carefully planned. It's been very carefully planned now for several decades. And I'm very grateful to the people in our town who had the forethought to think about maintaining our rural life, maintaining our open spaces, maintaining our public property, our public community space that's intended for everyone, and not just Parks and Rec, not just the firemen, not just Captain Sylvester Fletcher, but everyone, and for everyone to enjoy. Every Saturday morning, my husband and I like to go to the flea market. It's kind of like my detox time, especially now since I'm back in full-time private practice. I need just to shut out the judges and the phone calls and the clients and stuff. That beautiful space, the beautiful clean air that we all breathe and enjoy. And that some local people might make a couple dollars on their old items. That people might, got some records up right there. So we had folks like this who served the town. We had forethought to think about what kind of community we wanted to live in, how to preserve that community for all of us and all the future generations, and all the people like me who choose to live in Bethany. You could live someplace else pretty easily, but I choose to live in Bethany for that rural quality, like that clean air, that open space. There's public spaces like Veterans Park and the airport property that we all get to use and we all get to enjoy. And I look at, I was looking at the agenda, which I guess changed apparently tonight, and I came across the opening page of the website that's been really beautifully done. And it's the introduction to our first selectwoman. And I noticed in the introduction, she used this phrases like our small town, our beautiful rural town of Bethany. We are a hub town. Our town is mostly agricultural and residential with some light industry. Now, that light industry is located in very discrete places in town. We have very limited commercial space. We need to protect those commercial businesses. It's very hard to be in business in Bethany. Those businesses struggle every day to keep their doors open. We have no municipal water or sewer sources. We're dotted with wooded areas, streams, and over 6,000 acres of open space. Residents and visitors can enjoy many trails, all from our webpage, all from Paula's opening comments. Almost last paragraph. Bethany is a family-friendly suburban town with a wonderful and involved community. Last statement. The small town is loved for clean air, privacy, and an excellent education system. These are values that we need to maintain in our town. And the training center, let's call it what it is, to burn station. That's not doing this. That's not keeping what our first selectman has on our front page of our website.
You guys can come sit up here too. if you like.
Yes.
The table.
Is there anyone else on that list?
No,
No, okay. Oh, thank you. Is there anyone else that hasn't signed up but would like to speak? No, okay. Second item on the agenda, gentlemen, Assistant Chief and Chief Vogel and Chief Ciccarelli, you want to give us an update?
So, we had a couple open houses, 2 of them, we had 8 people come out. Out of those, 4 really wanted to see this project go before all the voters in town. So reached out to Vince. How do we do that? How do we make it where this will be a thing residents get to vote on? And I think I won't speak for Vince, but he brought a plan forward and I'll let Vince explain it.
yeah. So the last time that this matter was presented, if you recall, we were before the zoning commission. And what we decided at that point was the matter would be withdrawn. And that's where the matter stalled. And the conversation that we had this morning, we said, all right, what we want to do is we want to advance a process that is in accordance with the statutory process that is done properly and gives this project its due course and allows all of the people who are in favor of it and all the people who are opposed to it their opportunity to speak their minds. And that is what is before this. This body is making no decision tonight. All this body is doing is starting a process. The process is twofold tonight. Referring it to the zoning commission in accordance with 8-24. So there's two actions tonight. To refer to the zoning commission in accordance with 8-24. Now, just by way of history, in 2013, the town meeting authorized a lease with the Bethany Volunteer Firemen's Association, which had certain leasehold terms. Now, I reviewed that lease, and I believe that lease should be modified. I believe it should be modified no matter what, because there are some issues with that lease that need to be modified. So no matter what, I'm going to make a recommendation to the town meeting that that lease be modified, period. And the town meeting, I hope, will understand why. And I'm going to explain that if my computer cooperates. But I'll go off of memory right now. So I'm going to first explain why the lease should be modified, period. Because I hope you all will agree. In the Schedule A, is the part of the document that describes the leased premises. And basically that description says that the leased premises gives the volunteer fire department the right to expand the lease at its option. Whenever it wants, which is never the case. The tenant never gets to decide when they get, that's just clearly a ministerial error in my view. And the fire department agrees. So the way that this lease should have been designed, and I think the way it was intended, was that it be split into two components. A exclusive component and a non-exclusive component. Since this parcel is a large, single parcel, it was never subdivided. The fire department should have the exclusive possession of the firehouse. Right? We should all be able to agree today that the existing lease should be modified to grant the fire department the exclusive right to occupy the firehouse. I don't think anyone should object to that. That's what they've been doing, and that's what right? So that's number one. If there's a willingness to allow them to construct this training facility with a live burn room associated with it on the leased premises, then they will have a second building in the general vicinity of the firehouse, and they will have the exclusive right to occupy that facility. And so the way I structured the modification is that they have the exclusive right to possess the firehouse and the proposed training facility with the parking areas that are immediately adjacent to those two structures. And the non-exclusive right to occupy the remaining area of the property, right? Because the town also uses that property, right? That's the airport, right? So we coexist there with that. So there's a exclusive component and a non-exclusive component of it. So that Schedule A needs to be modified. And when you see it in its current form, you'll understand why. It was not well drafted in its first, draft. So that's number one. So we need to refer it to the zoning commission under 8-24, because under that statute, no municipal body is allowed to act in entering into the lease of any municipally owned land before it refers the proposed action to the zoning commission. Doesn't mean the zoning commission must act first, although it should. The statute actually says, the legislative authority could act first, but we will have the zoning commission take action on the referral. And then once the zoning commission takes action on the referral, the town meeting will consider whether or not to enter into the proposed modified lease. That's the way we had discussed it when we were at the zoning commission many weeks ago, right? Because ultimately, it's the town meeting that gets to decide this issue. It's not the Board of Selectmen, it's not the first select woman, it's the town meeting. So it's the zoning commission will give a report. If the zoning commission gives a favorable report, then it's a simple majority of the town meeting. If the zoning commission gives a negative report, then it's a supermajority of the town meeting that will be required. That's the way that this will work. That's the way that this should have gone from the get-go.
What is a supermajority number? 60%?
2/3.
2/3.
Okay, and it's that simple. You will have now. We're gonna, my recommendation is gonna be to the zoning commission. An 8-24 is not a public hearing. All right, and let's not twist ourselves into a pretzel to do things that we shouldn't be doing. Okay? Let's do things the way the statutes say, because one day someone's gonna get up and say, well, you did it for them, for us. Let's follow the law, I say, but I don't only give recommendations. I don't make decisions. So it'll be up to the zoning commission. Now, just because it's a meeting, it doesn't mean the zoning commission cannot grant you all the right to speak. It doesn't have to be a public hearing. All right, at a public meeting, the public doesn't have a right to speak, but they can be granted the permission to speak. Right, there's nuances here, right? But we don't, again, we don't have to make mountains out of molehills here, right? We can set up a process to allow people to speak, and we also don't have to beat each other up by, saying the same thing over and over and over again. People can submit emails that, they can submit what they want the commissioners to know in advance. We can set up a process so this can be done civilly. And at the end of the day, we're all neighbors. We don't have to kill each other. At the end of the day, the firemen are not trying to hurt anybody. They're trying to create not a burn facility. It's a training facility with a live burn room. All right. There are, this is not going to be blowing smoke 24/7, 365. All right.
The town has gone on mute.
Hold on. Can you hear us now, Connie?
Yes, you went on mute for a moment, though.
Apologies.
All right. So what I stated ultimately is the decision maker ultimately based on the number of votes that is determined by the vote of the zoning commission. Period. So let's let that process play out. Discussion it will be had at the town meeting. That's where the discussion should be had. All right, so it's really not for this table. This table is simply letting the process start. I mean, it's up to the first select woman whether or not you want to all come up and have this conversation. I really personally would like to get home and have dinner, but I'm happy to sit here for the next 4 hours if you all want to talk about it. But it's the town meeting when we should all have the conversation. That's where the decision is made. But it's not supposed to happen meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. But anyway, that's the process. And so what I created tonight is really just one document. It has 2 action items with a footnote. The footnote is simply just a verbatim of 8-24. And I highlighted it just so things pop for people because someone might say, what does 824 say? And I just wanted to make sure you knew what it said. Action item number 1 is a referral to is to the zoning commission. Action item number 2 is a recommendation to the town meeting, period. That's it. The dates can be set once we know the availability. My recommendation is not to set it for summer holiday, work with the fire department. So, when they're ready Because they should put on a presentation like similar to what they did at the town meeting. And we shouldn't conflict with summer vacations. I don't think we're in necessarily a rush to get this done. Maybe this is something that should be, we should confer with the zoning commission. They have a busy schedule right now. And, you know, if this has to wait a month or two. Again, I don't want to disappoint, but
We're good with a month or two.
you know, but let's do this again, intelligently, civilly, and neighborly. You know, and that's my 2 cents.
I made a recommendation, since Amy and I are part of the team that's responsible for counting the ballots and checking registered voters, that kind of thing, that's a paper ballot. Yeah, or a paper ballot.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at a town meeting, that could be asked for from the floor. even.
Yeah.
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 At the Florida meeting.
I think
Right,
it
so
would
that-
give us to have a physical vote
Yeah.
as well, to have a paper ballot vote.
Right, but that would be a
Yeah.
motion at the town
Be
meeting.
easier, yeah,
That makes sense.
okay.
You know, again, this is an important issue
Yes.
and do it the right way.
Mhm.
Follow a process. Give everyone their feel, you know, their seat at the table. But really, the discussion shouldn't be at the zoning commission, shouldn't be at this table. It should be at the town meeting. That's what you all want, that town meeting form of government. Exercise it. Town meeting, not at zoning. It's not a zoning meeting form of government. It's a town meeting form of government. Don't come to the zoning commission and kill them.
All right, so basically
Yeah.
what we need to do then is just either make a motion to move forward with these 2 action items.
There, it's all written out, just adopt number 1, number 2, and move the meeting forward.
Right, well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Do we have a
I'll
motion
make
to
the
move
motion
forward with these
to
action
move forward
items,
to action items.
and then it'll take the process from there.
Exactly.
I mean, we're not making any final decision here. This is just moving
So
forward with the
I'm
process.
wondering, so basically it's just restarting the process and it was pulled before, right? From P and Z, correct?
Yes.
Right?
But
So
then
it's
we
pulled
didn't,
from
we
P and
didn't
Z
have the
and this is
portion with the
restarting,
lease.
this is restarting the process.
But we
This is-
have the lease at the time.
This
so
is starting it correctly. Right, because this is starting it the way it should have been started. Right, now we never referenced the lease before, the original lease. Now we're modifying the original lease. We're doing it, right, it's coming through the town. It's coming from it's gonna be going to the town meeting. Because remember, you recall, I don't know, I know I do, because I stood up awkwardly and didn't know what to say, because I didn't say anything on purpose. Because someone said, well, what is that action of that 824? And I kind of said nothing, because the action of what is the action of the 824 should have been the town meeting, but there wasn't a town meeting to go to. Right?
Because we didn't have these
Because,
second action
because it
items.
hadn't been teed up. Now, when the zoning commission acts, now it's teed up. What is the action? What is the vote that is going to be affected by the zoning commission? Well, the vote that's going to be affected by the zoning commission is the town meeting. That is the answer that I could not, that I didn't want to answer. Because,
I thought that was gonna happen anyway.
yes, but you see,
This makes.
the last time the process was flawed. It was not done in an orderly way.
Hmm.
Okay, now this is an orderly way. Everyone's rights now are gonna be protected. Everyone's rights now are gonna be done. Whether you win, whether you lose, whether you draw, it's gonna be done properly. That's all I can guarantee. I can't guarantee you a smile or a wink, but I can guarantee you a hug. That's it. Okay? That's it. It's gonna be done properly. I looked at the statutes and everything is step by step by step. All right?
No, I guess this.
And that's really this body's charge,
Mhm,
right? To start making sure that the process is done properly.
mhm.
That's all we're doing.
I guess
Because you don't make any decisions here.
no, this, this is the way I understood it was gonna happen anyway,
No, it wasn't.
No,
to restart and the 50% or the majority,
Right, and
depending
that,
on how it's voted at PNC,
but that's exactly why we're doing it this way.
right? And then it'll go to the, that's what I figured, I don't, not that clear. Any difference in my mind about the way the process works. We're
Right,
just changing the lease agreement.
no, well, but if someone's got to start it. If we don't, if
No,
we don't,
It's just bringing it back to start again, yes? Isn't it, are you just restarting the process again?
with a little
Yeah.
more,
Yeah, just restarting it again. is really
He's,
good.
the only thing he added is he fixed the, because the lease was before any of us.
right,
Yeah,
From
anybody
the
understand?
fire department, yeah, it was.
the lease was a little screwed.
Previous administrations for both of us wrote the lease, so he's just fixing it properly for the,
Yeah.
for the benefit of
Yeah, okay.
actually the town and the department.
Yeah, the lease doesn't, you're fixing lease, but it's a different thing.
No, it's not. It's, you don't, I'll bring that lease up and you'll see it and
It's a-
you'll be like, I want to see how your eyes pop out of your head. The way mine did.
Okay,
How
so-
old was it?
I just thought the process was, yeah, they bring it back. and
No,
then
but
Go to P and Z and then P
No,
and Z would, we
right.
voted one way or the other, and then it would go.
it's,
Well,
but
that's-
this,
Town meeting.
they have to come to the town. When a third party, an outside party wants to do something on town property, they have to ask the owner of that. Can I do something on your property? They don't go directly to zoning. So they're here asking the gatekeeper, the board of selectmen is the gatekeeper. You're holding the key. The town meeting can't be called. Right? So they don't get to go to the town meeting, right? Because the town meeting doesn't get convened unless this body calls the town meeting. So you're the gatekeeper. So they're here saying, we would like to do something on your property. And so you're like, okay, here are the keys. Let's start the process, right? So think of it that way. You guys are the gatekeepers. That's your town meeting out there, right? They're the decision makers. All right, so that's all you're doing. You're the gatekeepers. And now you're starting the process. So you're the ones who are actually sending it to zoning. They can't go straight to zoning. They have no authority to go to zoning. You're the owner, you're the one. You could kill this right now. You don't have to send it to zoning. If you don't send it to zoning, then it doesn't go anywhere. Right? Think about it that way. If you're not in favor of this, if you don't have to recommend it to the town meeting, it doesn't go anywhere. You can't vote to do it, but you can vote not to do it. That's the only authority you have here. You have the authority of no, but you don't have the authority of yes. Think about it that way.
Well, I get that part, but I also,
The public might not think, like,
well, that's what I'm saying, the public should have their opportunity to vote on it.
that, I agree with you, but if the affirmative is true, the negative is also true. You know, no one can compel you to vote yes. Right? So no one can compel you to start a process. So if you don't think this is a good idea for the town, you have the authority to say, I don't think this is a good idea for the town, I'm not voting for it. So, you know, in other words, I'm trying to explain to my select woman to the left why process is going this way. And I'm telling her why, if you don't like it, then don't vote in favor of it. But this is why I think you should vote in favor of it, because you're starting a process.
Which the lease needs to be corrected.
Right.
Okay, so again, I'd like to make a motion to
Move forward.
move forward with points 1 and point 2 to modify the lease and get the ball rolling towards a town meeting by sending it to planning and zoning.
All right, so just so that the minutes are correct, you know, just take the two action items and put them in the forms of motions.
So make two separate motions?
Yeah, the two separate motions.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to.
It's motion to refer
a
to
motion
zoning
to.
in accordance with 8-24.
To change the lease to read as written.
Well, just motion to refer to zoning in accordance with 8-24.
Just, yeah, just put motion to.
Motion
at the beginning
to-
of it.
For
Forward to
Talking about, are you doing?
Zoning as an
We're
eight,
doing them
as
separate.
as an
We're doing these
824.
two separate.
So, your first one is to refer to zoning in accordance with 8-24,
I made that.
right? And would you like to second that?
Trying to swallow everything that's coming out, frankly, I am. I wish this had been presented in with the agenda.
We literally just got it this afternoon.
I really just got here at 6:45, but I'm trying to explain, can I explain it any less?
I mean,
confusion?
even if we were to table it, it's gonna be the same wording next month.
All we're doing is referring it to zoning.
I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's gonna be the same, if we table it, it's still gonna be the same. thing
All you're doing is
next month.
voting to send it to zoning.
Right.
No, I mean, I thought you explained it well yourself. But
Hmm. I do believe certainly it needs to come before the public. Absolutely. As I'm sure Don and Paul believe the same. And P and Z should consider it as well, and I know that their limitation is only to consider it for 8-24. That's it. The comp plan, to see if it conforms to the comp plan. I know that. Okay, the question is whether then after that, it'd be 50%, right? Or the majority. Whether it does go to the town meeting. Whether people do participate in the town meeting, hopefully. Someone can raise at that time that they want a written ballot, is that correct?
Yes, that'll be on the Florida meeting.
Yeah, a motion can be made at that time for the
Right.
ballot.
So that folks can do it anonymously if they want to.
Mhm.
I think it's been brought up. Folks are afraid. They want to help you. They want to do it, but they're afraid to speak up.
Yeah,
You
we
know
understand
this.
that.
You know this.
We don't have, we're not, we're fine.
We have no bias. We help everyone.
We're gonna be here regardless of what happens with this,
Hmm.
so.
So we have a conundrum here.
what is
You're
your
looking at Jamie, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all, everyone's sitting against the wall.
What's the conundrum?
We can send
The
it
public
to
should have had an
public.
opportunity to notice about this beforehand.
What's that?
The public should have an opportunity. to
They
notice.
should.
I personally would have looked up the lease.
You personally what?
The lease is on our website.
I can't hear you.
I would have looked at the lease in question. The lease.
You would look up the
The-
lease?
I would look at the lease. and read it myself.
Wait a second, first of all, this has absolutely no bearing on the referral to these two bodies. Politics, all we're doing is making referrals to two bodies.
We're just restarting.
And we can sit here and engage in personal politics, or we can make two referrals.
Personal policies. is nothing-
Meaning, that's what we're doing. What we're doing is making two referrals. We're not talking about. The town meeting will get into the substance of the lease, and that's gonna be 2 months from now, 3 months from now. I will, give me your email, I'll send it to you right now. But we're not talking about the substance of the lease today. We're not talking about anything about the lease other than. Should this be referred to the zoning commission, and should this be recommended to the town meeting?
But we had
period.
we had no idea that the lease was even something in play.
Yes,
We had no idea that the lease was even faulty. You're describing it as faulty. The public has a right to know, the public has a right to participate. I'm sorry.
no, this is a public meeting, not a public hearing. The public has no right to participate in this meeting.
No.
It's a matter of law. This is a matter of law.
You keep saying that, and that really
oh.
is so irritating that you say the public has no
All right, I'm
right.
sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking out of turn, but every time you say that, it grates. It's like nails on a, the public always has a right. A matter of law, why don't we have the right?
We have had public comment already.
Sorry.
tonight. We've had public comment already tonight, and this is just gonna veer off into tit for tat and nasty. Don't want it. This is not the place for it. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. I get it. We are here to conduct business about these two items. And if we can't do it civilly, I don't need any other comments.
previously, with this, what happened is it went through the P and Z, right? And it was not going to automatically go to a public vote. Town, is that correct? Town meeting previously. At the P and Z, at that P and Z meeting, there was a question of whether it was gonna go to a town meeting at all, whether it needed to.
I don't recall that.
I think it was pulled before.
I think
It
that
was
there was an
pulled
issue,
before.
whether it was P and Z was it, that was it, was gonna,
No.
we decide on that, whether it conformed to the,
No, there was,
She was at the meeting when we pulled the referral.
Right, but the P and Z meeting beforehand, they tabled the decision until after it went to the public, and then it became moot.
Right.
On the Monday, when the Board of Selectmen voted.
Right. right, there was discussion on there was discussion at the zoning commission that the zoning commission will ultimately have multiple, they'll deal with it twice, right? They'll deal with it at the 824 level and at the site plan level. So.
do
that-
it, yeah? I thought it was only 824.
No, they deal with it, they deal with it now at 824, and then when it goes through the entire process, if it's approved, then it comes back.
It
under-
comes back?
Under an application for site plan approval.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
and that's a zoning process. When it comes to the town meeting, we never got that far in the process.
Does it, when the grant is officially approved by Rosa DeLauro, does the town vote on approval, or is that your separate entity? So town doesn't,
That was discussed at the zoning commission.
no.
That has to be
what's the
accepted,
answer?
that's,
What's
that was discussed at the zoning commission, that it has to be accepted at the town meeting.
The grant
Well,
That,
I thought there was a question of whether there is separate entity.
Right,
well, all right. Who should apply for it?
fire.
The fire department, okay.
Yeah, but that's a gray area. Still from Rosa DeLore's office, Jamie's seen the paperwork on that, he knows it's kind of, we don't need the town's permission to accept the money, but we
But
can't build.
that's
build
the
it.
point anyway, because if the town meeting says no building, then you don't need the
Yeah,
grant.
we can't accept it, if we don't have the project.
All right, so it's a chicken and egg.
Yeah.
And then if it's approved at the town meeting, I'm just trying to say, then it goes back to planning and zoning. If it doesn't meet all zoning criteria, it can't be built anyway. So. We're just getting
So it's not our
the
grant.
ball rolling. There's no sense in going through zoning all the regulation crap if the town votes no.
All right, so we have the motion, we did.
Yes, I made the motion on-
He made the motion.
To send it for an 824G.
There's no G.
But 824.
824.
Well, wait a second, time out. So hold it, back up. Is this on the agenda?
No.
All right, so back up. Let's
it's
get a
not.
motion.
I'd like to make a motion.
Motion to amend the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you.
To amend the agenda to allow us to discuss,
Motion to amend the agenda to add these two action items.
to allow us to discuss these two action
That
items.
we just discussed for the last 45
Right, okay.
minutes.
I thought that had been done. Thank you.
So,
No, because
There was there a
I didn't-
second to
I
that?
didn't have them until,
No,
I didn't
I-
have them until this afternoon.
No, is there a second to that? You made the motion. Is there a second to adding this to the agenda?
I'm not gonna second it, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna second it only because we've discussed it for the last 45 minutes.
Fine.
Okay, now you have to vote
All in favor?
I'm assuming you're voting no?
I'm voting no, because I just got this, and I just needed to
Okay.
digest it.
But we just added it, all we just voted on was added to the agenda to discuss.
She voted no.
I know.
Yep.
okay, and now that we added it to the agenda, I would like to make a motion to accept number 1 and send it to, as an 824 to the planning and zoning.
Second,
Now you can discuss it if you want to discuss
There's
it.
a lot of stuff discussion already.
Right.
but-
Now, you don't have to discuss it any further, but if you want to, you can.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna say no again, because
Okay.
I'm just trying to digest this, getting this too late.
So now I would like to make a motion to consider step number 2. which would recommend it to a special town meeting to allow them to discuss it at the town meeting and vote on it.
Any other additional comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
Okay.
And I feel bad because she's being stared at from across the
That's
room.
okay.
So,
No, that's not it. Again,
Don't worry about it.
this is all just coming today. There's no, I had some.
I literally
time
just
to
got
look-
it, I just literally got
look it over.
right before the meeting as well.
We don't want the
but-
town meeting.
But we're
Let's let the
not
town
making
vote.
a final decision here. We're just.
I understand. Paul.
trying to-
I
This-
understand.
this-
We're in a
this was-
process.
This was what the process we discussed when it was taken off. We said it was gonna come back.
Right.
And
Basically just restarting the process,
Yeah.
which should have
Well,
been put on that it's an action item to restart it, that's all.
you can't
Probably
control,
would have
you know
gone
what,
right through and said yes, but since it's just
you have your reasons,
such an
that's fine.
important.
It will go
such an
through a
important
process and
topic.
I'm sure people will have an opportunity to express all of their opinions again. So, moving on, we have approval of the May 2nd, regular meeting minutes. I have a motion to accept the minutes. Liz, is
A
there
second.
Can I have a second? Can I have a second? Any comments, corrections, with regard to the regular minutes of May 2nd? No. Oh, wait a minute. I did.
Yes, you-
Yes,
there
I
are
did. I take it back. I had my little sticky note. We need to correct under A, I believe it was, public comment. The Don's title should read, project manager, facilities / public works, manager. And
Where are we? What page is that, Paul?
on the,
Well, the public comment on page
Yeah,
1
under-
of 6,
on page 1,
of 6.
it said something about we will work with,
I understand.
Yeah.
The Eagle Scout about redoing the reviewing stand.
Did a last line.
Harder than you think.
I know.
Selectman Shay needs to be referred to as public works director. Facilities manager.
and also it should say, the very first beginning of the line, it should say Eagle Scout candidate. He's not
Yes,
an actual
Eagle Scout candidate.
yes,
I was a
he's
candidate,
a,
right.
Yes, he's got to complete his project first.
Yeah, so it should say Eagle Scout candidate, Robert. And then, it shouldn't say Selectmen Shay, it should say public work, you got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Public works / facilities manager.
Where's that?
That's
last
on the
sentence.
Last line.
last sentence of the public comment there where it says Selectmen Shay.
Oh, yeah.
He's not in that
I was not a
capacity doing that.
selectman
He's not
when
in
I
that
met with
capacity
you.
doing that.
Mr.
Oh,
Reinwald.
got it.
Yeah,
Reinwald.
so those
sorry.
were the only, I apologize. So, motion to accept the minutes as amended with those two corrections. Liz-
I'll second.
and second,
A
okay.
second.
All in favor of the minutes as amended, corrected,
Aye.
unanimous, okay.
By the
Um,
way, these are Leslie's glasses. I left mine home. So-
That was very nice of you. Okay, motion to accept the May 15th special meeting minutes.
So move.
Second.
Any comments, corrections with regard to those minutes? No? Okay.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, those pass. You were handed a sheet of the tax refunds.
Yeah.
For this month. So may I have a motion to accept the tax or approve the tax refunds as presented by the tax collector?
Make a motion to approve them as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We do not have any cemetery deeds for this month, so we can move on. We have in your packet was the memo with regard to the mill rate for the motor vehicles. It actually should be 32.46. It had been approved at the town meeting, right after the town meeting, at the Board of Finance special meeting at 32.45. So this is just a correction to make it 32.46.
Yeah.
So may I have a motion to accept the correction? Okay, the seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Next one is actually reappointment of Brian Eitzer as the Bethany representative for the South Central Connecticut Regional Water District Policy Board. Say that 10 times fast. Whew. That was a mouthful, and I did speak to him, and he said he would be.
I am
happy to
recusing
continue.
myself from this vote.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll make that motion. Then.
I'll second it. All in favor, aye,
Aye.
and Liz will abstain. Okay, so.
He's a
you can
good guy, though. He
congratulate-
knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you
He's a
can
scientist, but I
congratulate
am-
Brian on that.
But I
Um,
cannot vote on this.
Okay, where did Don just go?
Where did Ben?
I mean, Ben just- I know where you
Fire
are.
department.
All right, because I need him on this one, so let me go grab him.
Okay.
How's everybody doing? Where'd everybody go?
Wow.
Okay. Now, Russell Road, we just basically needed an update because it was right before you went away.
Yes.
That we had submitted, an agreement of sale.
Yes, I reached out to, Mr. Cavalier. I'm actually waiting to hear back from him.
Okay, so there's no action on this at this point?
No action, it's been submitted. The town's offer has been submitted to the, owner's representative.
Okay,
To see if they would basically, we
accept.
had the whole
Accept.
environmental thing, right, but
Right.
they had,
we
and
had put in there about.
so we
cleaning it
don't
up
know
and-
from the
We
owner
have not
yet.
heard back yet.
We have not heard back on that. yet,
Okay,
so,
so we're waiting.
right, so there's no action on this right now.
Right.
Do you know if the environmental person from,
Yes.
they walk
I
the
actually got
property,
it.
did they get in?
I did not, we went in, very poor shape. The kitchen is in the basement. It used to be on the first floor. So that tells you what kind of, there's a
But-
stove hanging upside down. So we went in, the kid actually went upstairs.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. And the report came back, it's asbestos and.
Oh, of course. All right,
It was just a matter of not getting a price and then negotiating.
yeah, so it just can't be demo, it has to be a remediated.
No, it's
Taken
basically
away,
what
taken
happens, they're
apart.
not gonna remediate it, they can't. They
No,
can't
no,
do
I
anything.
know, they deconstruct it and
No,
cost goes up.
What they're gonna do, instead of taking it and putting it in this dumpster, they're gonna just take it and put it in this. dumpster.
I know, I'm just saying it, but it
just charge
costs quite a bit
$2.
more than just,
Yes,
than just
Yes,
that
yes,
taken
yes.
away.
Right.
So that is a fact, so
yes.
we don't know what the number is yet.
Well, Seymour Demolition, who gave me the price the first time, I spoke to them this morning, they are not licensed to do that. So now I have to just find another
Yeah.
contractor at no price.
Okay, so there's no action at this point.
All right.
And Clifford Drive, we are,
He said they just got
You know,
something.
I got a great response, no update.
I know.
No, I mean, now, no, I'll give you an update. We have been waiting and asking for this to proceed since November. So from the town's perspective, we have been asking for documentation to close out this project since November. I have been following up with the developer since November. I want that to be stated in the minutes. So the town has not been delaying this. I did receive, I was away last week. I did receive finally, and I love how this works. The day before I left, I did receive documents. The documents that I received were just the Schedule A's of, which are, Schedule A's are just descriptions of property, of different things, which don't help me for anything. I needed easements and things of that nature. So in order to try to advance this, even though I didn't have everything that I needed, I sent those Schedule A's to the town engineer and asked him to review them to confirm that the Schedule A's were at least accurate, so that we could advance, I could advance my work once I got
Is
the
it
easements.
Schedule A, the survey? Is that
The
the
Schedule A's are the
survey?
property descriptions
Yeah,
for the
that's what it
easements
is.
and for the deed when we get the
Right,
accept the road.
right.
And so at least if the engineer said that those descriptions were good, I could then take those, and when I got the easements, I could attach them and know at least that the descriptions were proper. So I got the final documents the Friday of my vacation. My final, so I just got them.
Mhm.
So I haven't had a chance to look at them yet,
Mhm.
because it's now Tuesday. So I've only had them for 2 business days. And I will look at them this week. But I just heard back from our engineer, and there are errors in the descriptions.
Oh,
So we're gonna send back to the
bummer.
descriptions back to the developer and ask him to fix the descriptions. This board does not act until the paperwork is in good form. Period. And once the paperwork is in good form, we will act. We've been asking since November.
Mhm.
That's the update.
Not the lack of trying. Not the lack of
Okay.
trying,
So I don't want to say there's no
Okay.
update, because there's an update.
yeah,
Okay.
so. The welcome sign, have yet to hear back from the owner of the Shell gas station, so I'm just holding, it's in holding pattern. Until I hear back from them if they want to accept that responsibility, because it's quite a substantial responsibility to do that, so. So there's no movement on that at all. Leslie, update on the investment services?
Right now, we are in contract stage. There will be a 457 put in place for the town employees. The contract is being drawn up. As soon as I have it, I will be forwarding it to them for legal approval to make sure all the Ts are crossed and the Is are dotted. I do not want to enter into any form of agreement that will put the town, that will expose the town unnecessarily, so it will be reviewed before it is implemented. But we are hopeful that everything will be in place so that contributions can start with the new fiscal year.
Okay.
On my schedule to follow up with them tomorrow for a status update
I
on
know how this works.
it.
All right. That it.
Okay.
Sorry. Go to London more often, right?
I'm going to Italy.
Really? Okay. Not at the end of the fiscal year, though.
No, I'm waiting until after it starts.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, grants. We're still looking at doing projects, and we had some approved at the time meeting.
It's,
We
what's the status?
worked through those. Any other?
No, there's a few ideas that have come before me recently, but I am waiting for comment from Rosa Delores' office to find out how to proceed with those before I know if they are viable projects, eligible projects, and the procedures which we have to use in order to approve them. Is it something that we can do? Because the dollar amounts are smaller, so is it something that can be done like the registrar of voters, new voting booths and stuff, which was under all thresholds for town meeting? It was not capital, so the Board of Finance could just straight up approve that and inform the town at a later date that ARPA funds had been used for that. So we're just making sure that what has been presented is actually viable under that, and that will be coming, if it works, that will be coming to you next month for possible town meeting action.
Okay.
Should I get the green light from Rosa Delores' office?
And Steve, we have our work in progress.
The work is in progress. Most of the paving work is finished.
And
The guide
most of the
rails-
guide rails are finished too.
So it's just a matter of turning, we can submit those funds, we can submit our reports on a quarterly basis to the state for reimbursement on that.
Yes, we'll finish paving once the slab for the canopy is poured.
Just a dumb question. Are all the guardrails now metal rather than wood?
No,
In the old days, it used to be.
no,
wood and
there's a
rustic
majority,
boards.
there's a combination of all three. There's a little bit of shiny metal guardrail, which I don't really care for. There's quite a bit of the, like Jamie was saying, the rustic port 10 guardrail, which is very nice looking. Like you said, you don't even see it when you go by. Very nice. And there's a few spots,
Blends in.
yeah, and there's a few spots where we're just replacing broken poles and restricting cables.
Okay, so. The cost difference in those?
It's a little more expensive going with the Corten, the pre-treated,
Mhm.
pretty rustic looking stuff. Because it's just another process when they manufacture it, but well worth it. Who wants to go down, a nice road and see the shiny metal guardrail?
No,
all over the place?
No, don't. I wonder how they affect the snowplows too, the guardrails.
Well, it's,
Well.
yeah, it goes over, goes under, whatever, it's fine.
Whatever.
Cabrera, the money's holding, but we think.
The money has been
Move forward.
approved. OPM has it sitting as pending, waiting for disbursement.
Who's gonna be managing that? The Cabrera mine?
It'll
Oh,
be,
yeah.
it'll be a trifecta management, meaning Don as the facilities manager, myself as the finance director, and Jen Kafasa, who handles all the grants.
No, but at the state level, is it directly coming from OPM?
The money
or is
will
it
be-
being given to another agency?
The money will be funneled through OPM.
Directly. from OPM.
Yes, directly from OPM.
Good.
And Rosa
That's better.
Dolores money, we're still waiting.
Rosa Dolores money, we are still waiting. We have submitted everything that we need to. But the good news there is we received the invite for the webinars on how to handle HUD grants. That was the first step to getting the executed contract for the steep grant. So that is positive progress on that.
Good. Good. Okay.
And trip, we're hoping to find out by the end of this month, right?
They said they should
They
be
told us by the end of June, we would know. if
We
we
have the money.
have it. Yeah, I mean, considering we're the only one that we're eligible for it, I think our odds are pretty good.
Yes.
So,
And if
one would like. to
when
take
we get it,
anyway.
we'll pretty much ready to proceed.
Right.
We
Okay.
can, we can put the shovel on the ground. a Couple weeks after we get the check.
And one of these days, we're gonna get Simpson property off of this agenda.
Did Deep even go back to work? Or are they still home?
Well, actually, I made contact.
With the human being.
DT. Scary. I made contact with the person at Deep, who then told me she'd been waiting for me. And I said, what? And I said, she said, well, I sent you something back like a year ago. And I said, yes, and so did I. And I sent her the email response. And she said, oh, yes, I did get something from you. She acknowledged that at least.
A year ago.
And I said, yes, now what are we gonna do to accelerate this? And that's where we're at.
What department is that?
It's deep.
I know where she works.
Was that Allison?
Yeah,
What is it?
Her name is Allison.
yeah, let's not broadcast.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
if you're waiting a long time, too long, then you should copy the supervisor. Find out what unit she's in, that's all.
yeah.
If, could be that she went on a leave of absence.
No, I thought it literally, I said, did I not do it? I had a panic attack. I said, oh my God. Because I had never not done something before, and I said, maybe it is me. And I checked my email and I said, no, it's there. Then I said, because sometimes, once or twice I did see something in my outbox, but that was only like a day, not a year. And I was grateful to get her acknowledgement. So I'm hopeful that we will close in 2022. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna lower your expectations.
So,
Yes.
okay.
All right.
So, like I said,
My goal is to get it off your agenda.
yeah, a few of these things, hopefully we can get them off. Liz, any other business?
A couple of things, I had wanted to know what the insurance cost was going to go for the insuring the training burn building. You were gonna get an estimate from our insurer?
We had gotten some.
Yes, we did. I spoke with Colleen White,
She's the- she's the rep at
who's
Firma.
the rep at Firma, and she said that she needed to know how much the building was, its value when it was completed. The value on completion, they figure is about $685,000, excuse me. To insure that building, it will be approximately $1,000 a year. After it is complete. There will be builders work in progress insurance needed during the construction phase. And that they cannot comment and they cannot quote on that at the moment. Because they are changing platforms for that portion of the insurance starting July 1st.
What about the actual operation though? Wouldn't that incur additional insurance besides?
She said it would be $1,000. She is expecting it to be approximately $1,000 a year to insure it. To insure the building, and she is fully aware of what the use of the building is. As a training,
Town doesn't operate it, right?
as a training facility, it
We pay
would be
for our insurance pays for them. We don't.
approximately $1,000 a year.
Is it an umbrella policy that we have on that? I used to have one in my business a long time ago. It was everything and everything operating in. So is that the way it works?
Well,
Is
the
that what
fire
that is?
department is a town building, it's under one of our assets,
Yeah,
it's
one
one of our structures.
One of our structured
Right,
assets.
but, the question was for operational purposes, they have their own insurance for their operations, don't they?
That's what I'm asking.
That I'm not
Above and
sure.
beyond just the building.
Because they're a separate corporation.
That part I do not know, Liz. Follow up,
Okay.
with Colleen.
Yeah, she might not understand that.
Well, if they get hurt, they don't, we put in the claim.
For workers'
Yeah,
comp.
for working, yeah.
No, but they're an LLC, so you would think they'd
Yes.
have their own insurance.
But any outside group that would be using the facility would have to.
I know they say they have their insurance, but
Yeah.
there's additional liability in using it, I think.
So I will,
It's a
I
different
have,
use.
I have a
Yeah.
note to follow up with her on the operational insurance costs.
Okay. Just to note that, somehow or other, it'd be nice to know when there are town hall vacancies. Rather than hearing about them, if we could add that to our agenda as a standard thing, just to, don't have to say why, just say that there is a vacancy. So that I am aware of it, okay? The aware of why people come and go, that's your business, but to know if there is a vacancy, maybe it can be helpful, maybe, just to
We
know.
advertised it in the bulletin.
I know,
Yeah.
but
But
I should,
I understand what you're
just have
saying,
to
no,
read in the
I know, I
bulletin
understand what
to
you're
know
saying,
that
but,
there's a vacancy.
yeah, no, I understand.
And an
what you're
important one. And likewise, same goes for foreclosures, tax foreclosures, or any significant financial
saying.
events.
We don't get those.
It was in the newspaper. I read the other day that the garage.
Was
is,
that put in by the tax collector?
I
That
suppose it
probably
was,
put in
but
by the tax collector, but we don't get those lists.
well, we should know about it if we know about who's getting a refund on their taxes. How come we don't know who's getting it? Getting it foreclosed. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, why don't we ask for that? Why don't we get that information? It's certainly more significant than returning some of these $6.80 here on their insurance. As a matter, of course, of knowing what's going on in the town, you would want to know, right? Unless you read the,
I think this is statutory as far as spending money, we have to approve it at the board of selectmen level. The $6.85, we have to approve it.
Yeah, right.
so there was also a lawsuit, I know, like someone told me that been settled or they went to court. But I don't know anything about that. I know we weren't supposed to discuss it among ourselves.
Nothing's been settled yet. That's still pending.
Okay,
Because again, everything happens when you're away. I'm
Not
getting
your
back,
opinion.
I'm getting back to the lawyer who would like to speak to me. It's on my to-do list. Haven't gotten to it yet. But nothing has settled yet.
okay.
So you should still not talk about
I know details anyway, so I can't.
it. But it's still pending. It's still pending.
Whatever.
That's the lawsuit that was just for purposes of everyone in the world. there was a loss, there was a taxpayer who decided not to pay their taxes. Home was wholly unencumbered. And the tax collector put the home up for tax auction. Tax collector followed the law to the letter. And the redemption period expired. The homeowner lost title and is now suing the collector,
Okay.
saying she
Didn't
should,
follow the process.
didn't follow the process. The process was followed to the letter of the law, period. The insurance carrier is representing the collector. That's it.
Okay,
So, the legal process is playing out.
okay. So you didn't know that.
There's, I
Henry's
mean, there's some
garage
stuff,
was-
legal stuff that shouldn't be discussed.
But that is, in every town, foreclosures, lawsuits, they don't get reported regularly to this body. Unless there are decisions that have to get made by this body. Unless there's a policy that, but it's in
No,
no,
never have, as far as
I've never seen it in.
Well, just to know of significant events is the way I say it,
Yeah, no,
okay, in this town.
Well, I don't want to advertise if people's properties are being foreclosed. It's one thing to give them a tax refund, but if someone's having financial difficulties, I really don't want to
That's true.
advertise that they're
This is
having
this is a
difficulties. That's a
business.
private thing that I
Right.
really do not want to go down that avenue and
No,
You know,
I understand.
tax
I get
refunds,
that.
people are happy to get their money back and we have to vote on that to approve those
I never see my name there.
well. That means,
You're
that
in
means
good
you're paying just the right amount.
Just enough.
anything else, Liz?
No,
Okay,
Nope.
Leslie handed out a quick memo, we need to make a couple of quick corrections. Oh, I got it.
No, I'm sorry. This,
Yeah, just, we at some point are gonna have to look at a complete rewrite of this, because it's been in place prior to me coming on board, so I think some of the laws have changed as far as any federal and state stuff, so.
is that ethics policy incorporated in this? That was voted on last time.
Well, if we do a complete redo, right now, we're just looking to make a couple of changes that,
I just, the goal tonight is just to make 2 short financial changes to the personnel handbook. Because it exposes the town unnecessarily, and that's why
to make these corrections, so if you take a minute to look at them,
Yeah. Standard.
right,
So do you need a motion to do the
yes,
the change?
please. Yes,
So
please.
I'll make a motion to change the personnel handbook as written.
I second.
Any comments or questions?
No.
No, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
oh, you're.
Already. The second.
It is 8:10. Thanks to everyone who attended, via the Zoom. Enjoy the rest of your evening.